Well, I've been with Faith in Action for over 12 years now. And Faith in Action, the program, is such an amazing way to build and develop community. The volunteers that we have uh, as part of Faith in Action do so many amazing things in their communities. Some things that we think are so very, very simple can be so complicated to someone who's got mobility issues. One situation in particular is a case where a woman called the office, um, and she asked us if we could send out a volunteer to help her with some things around the house. And I asked her, what specifically do you need? Because I can't just send someone out with an open book to do things. Volunteers need to know what they're expected to work on, and if there are any specific skills that a volunteer might need to bring to do those things. And she hemmed and hawed and just didn't want to say what it was. I think she was truly embarrassed. And finally, she said, "Well, I'm in my 80s, and my doctor told me I shouldn't get up on a stool anymore. And I need some bulbs changed in my house. I have 9 lights out, and I need 9 light bulbs changed, and it's getting kind of dark, and I just can't do it myself." She hadn't had any friends or neighbors stop by in weeks and weeks, and so she had no way to get this done. So we easily sent out a volunteer to take care of her problem, and just to think of how simple it is for most of us to get up on a stool and change a light bulb. But she couldn't do that, to the point where she was living in the dark. Another story I remember, a gentleman called me in February, the first winter that I was with the program. And he was an older gentleman who lived alone in a rundown little trailer house. And he just said, "I need wood. I burn wood for my heat, and I'm out of wood. I don't have any more wood to burn." And it was February. He asked if I knew where he could get some more wood. I contacted his county worker, and she told me that he had already used up all of his heat assistance money to buy wood, and he had gone through all of that already. And he had no other funding available for heat for the rest of the winter. So I told her I'd see what we could do. That's my stock answer. We'll see what we can do. And I did put out a call to a couple volunteers, who might have some extra wood. And a few people said, "Well, gosh, I could take a few armloads over, but we really don't have a whole lot either." Um, and when I left work at the end of the day, I just sent up a prayer and said, "If you have any ideas, we could use some help." And the next morning, when I showed up for work, there was a message on the phone machine. And the message was a gentleman who had just purchased a vacant lot in the Hackensack area, and had just spent the weekend clearing out that lot and taking down all the timber and taking up all the dead wood, and had piled all of that wood in 4-foot chunks along the road. And he asked, "Do you know anyone who needs wood? If you want it, come and get it. Here's the address." And I did call him back and said, "You won't believe this, but," and he assured me he had not spoken to any of our volunteers. But somehow we made this connection. 4 volunteers, a truck, a trailer, and a chainsaw or 2 later, and they went out and loaded and filled the truck and the trailer with wood, and took it down to this gentleman's home in Pine River, and cut it up into pieces that he could use, and stacked it all for him, and got him set with wood for the rest of the winter for sure, and probably the start of the next winter. Just the amazing things that happen in a community, that when you don't even know uh, that the resources are there. And it's just a reminder that there's kind of a higher power involved in helping people. We can't all do it. We can't do it just by ourselves. We all need we all need help.